I wanted to share with you a metaphor tool that I stumbled upon, and I call it the strategy menu. And this is based on the research that in order to remember something, the best way to do it is by making it an active process. So, using strategies like visualization, association, comparing things you are learning to what you already know. We know that the sillier it is, or the funnier it is, the more strongly it is encoded in our memory. So, when I am trying to help clients pick what strategies to use and when, I stumbled upon the metaphor of having this strategy menu. And each strategy menu is tailored to the specific cognitive communication profile of my clients. So while there may be basic strategies that are going to be staples on every person's strategy menu, they might have slightly different garnishes, or we may tweak some of the strategies or combine them in different ways for that client's unique cognitive communication profile. So this strategy menu is essentially a memory tool to help clients more easily recall what the strategies are that we have discussed and that they can choose from to select to implement in a particular communication environment. And the idea is that the more they reference either this mental or even a hard copy strategy menu, which we'll get to in a moment, the more easily they will be able to implement the functional strategies in real world tasks. So let's work through a functional example. First, we have to identify what the goal is. So for some people, that might include going to the grocery store independently, or participating fully in a financial appointment with the banker, or participating in a medical or legal appointment. So if the goal is, was I able to keep up or perform this task, we want to come up with some strategies that we would take from our strategy menu. After anticipating what are the likely challenges I'm going to experience in this context, we pick from the strategy menu. Okay, well, if I know that it's going to be stressful, and say I'm going to the hospital and there's really bright lights, so my plan is I'm going to compensate for my vision difficulties by wearing sunglasses, and I'm also going to wear noise canceling headphones to help reduce background noise. And I'm going to use the script stop, think, go to remind me to pause before I respond, give myself a moment to collect my thoughts, and then execute my thought. So then we look, did we accomplish the goal? Were you able to go grocery shopping? Were you able to participate in the medical, legal, or financial appointment? And say, even if you accomplish the goal, we also have to evaluate, how do you feel after? If you feel terrible after completing the task, even though you accomplished the goal, that is a signal to us that there may be some tweaking that we need to do of the strategies and tools we originally selected from our menu. So instead of having a yellow light bulb, we'll pick a purple one and we'll try using it first. Instead of a yellow puzzle piece, let's try the purple one and we'll do it second. And instead of using a hammer, let's use a screwdriver as a third strategy from our menu. Yes, I accomplished the goal and I feel kind of neutral. I feel exhausted, but not as bad. Ideally, over time, we want to find the best combination of tools and strategies so that the client accomplishes the goal and they feel okay after and are ready to take on another task. So now I wanted to kind of apply the strategy menu to the different stages of cognitive communication. So if you remember, the first stage of cognitive communication is encoding, which is represented by the green circle at the bottom here. So we perceive information for communication purposes through our eyes and through our ears. Now, for clients who have hearing sensitivity, central auditory processing challenges, and or vision challenges, this is an example strategy menu that clients can be able to quickly reference or think back to help them understand or anticipate what strategies are going to help them best in a given situation. So we've got the over-the-ear headphones. So these could either be noise canceling headphones or musician filtered earplugs. And I often recommend musician filtered earplugs because they preserve speech frequencies but take down the background noise. So you're able to still hear speech clearly. It just kind of helps dampen the roar in the background. Whereas traditional earplugs, the foam ones or noise canceling ones, dampen all frequencies. So it makes speech sound muffled. There are times when you want to dampen all speech frequencies. So my clients often have noise canceling headphones and musician filtered earplugs, and they switch between using the devices depending on the communication context they're in. I used a key as a visual cue to listen for key words. So if you cue your clients to listen for the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, and and why. It helps them focus on the most important information and helps them not have to keep up with extraneous, irrelevant information. Because the important thing to remember is that yes, our clients have the brain injury and they are having struggles, but not everyone who isn't brain injured is a fabulous communicator. So your average Joe can be tangential or have not slept that day or have had word finding difficulties or are just in general disorganized with conversation and jump from topic to topic. It's much harder for clients who have brain injuries to keep up with disorganized speakers. And so giving them strategies and also reassurance and counseling that it's not always them that's the problem. Communication is a two-way street. And yes, the person with brain injury is having challenges, but there are things that the speaker can do to help them keep up with those conversations. The next symbol on the strategy menu is a light switch, which is just kind of a great cue to remember if you have light sensitivity, can you ask for the lights to be dimmed or shut off? So often in my sessions with brain injury clients, I completely shut off the lights. I have enough natural light coming in that it doesn't make it awkward, but that's a great accommodation for clients who have vision sensitivity. I have some glasses here, either to remind clients to wear their prescription lenses, including prisms if they have them or need them, or sunglasses to help with their light sensitivity. Hats are great to help reduce visual input in visually overstimulating environments, like the grocery store, which has incredibly strong fluorescent lights and rows of highly colorful food, as well as people walking back and forth in those tight spaces, can be really challenging for clients. So a hat in those contexts can really help them. Palming is a wonderful exercise, and I'll just quickly model it. So you rub your hands together until your palms heat up. Then you put your warm palms over your eyes. And the heat of your palms against the skin of your eyes helps the blood vessels dilate or open, which increases oxygen flow and blood flow around the eyes and in your brain. Black is the most relaxing color for the eyes. So this is a great accessible strategy you can use pretty much everywhere. I like to cue clients to do it in the car right before they attend an event and in the car right after the event is done. And this just helps give their brain a second and reduce all visual input. Black is the most relaxing color for the brain, so it's just a nice way to build in a quick little break. The pencil here is a visual cue to signal people to write down any intrusive thoughts that they might be experiencing. So sometimes if you feel emotionally escalated for any reason, or if you are stressed or anxious, you might have a difficult time putting those thoughts and feelings away to focus on the present conversation. So this pencil is here as a reminder to write down anything that's worrying you so that you won't forget it, but you can pick a more appropriate time. So you're parking your thoughts and you could come back to them to worry about it later. And this will help you focus and concentrate in the interaction at hand. The medication bottle here is a reminder to take your pain medications and also any other medications as prescribed by your rehabilitation team. We know that pain is a distraction, which can impact a person's ability to process information, and pain also makes it difficult to find your words and get them out in a logical way. You may also need medications to help with mood regulation because we know that elevated emotions can kind of get you stuck in that emotion brain and it makes it harder to even remember your cognitive communication strategies. And finally, there's a clock here to remind my clients to take frequent breaks, and setting alarms or timers is a great way to get them to actually remember to do it. Here's an example of a strategy menu I've created to help people with word retrieval or information retrieval. So the first one here is a picture of a checklist. I use templates for everything. Dry erase templates or digital are a really great way for you to park information and reduce the cognitive load by getting those prompting questions in place ahead of time. So all you have to do then when you are leading the task is refer back to the brain work you've already done. Your robot doesn't have to go in your library and try to find the information. You've already done that and now it's ready for you to use right away. The chess piece reminds people that you have to be strategic in your thinking. You have to anticipate, like a chess master who thinks several steps in advance, what's going to be challenging, where are pitfalls, and how can I overcome them in advance. The pencil here represents external strategies. So rather than relying on our retrieval robot to do all the work online, we're going to help him out by doing things in advance as much as we can. So things like the appointment planning template, the project chunking guide, the plan do review, which we've reviewed in previous videos, videos. Those ways of writing information out and parking it externally is crucial for a lot of clients who really struggle to respond or think on their feet in the moment when they feel pressure. The fingers here are a reminder to plan what you want to say first, what you should say next, and what you should say finally. So first, second, third. These cues are just a helpful way to help people with brain injury sequence their thoughts in a logical way. The pause symbol here reminds clients that it's okay to take a break or circle back to a conversation later. So for example, if someone is asking them a question and my client just isn't in a headspace to retrieve the information right now, it is appropriate to say, I don't have that information handy right now, but I can get back to you later. Just a reminder that it's okay. You don't always have to have the answer on the spot. Lots of people don't have the answers readily available, and it is normal to say, I'll have to get back to you later. The target here reminds clients, what information am I actually looking for? It's important for clients who have trouble staying on topic. The visual cue of the target helps the clients kind of think back, okay, what is the information being asked of me? What is the topic? Let me make sure that my retrieval robot pulls the book or information that's actually truly associated with what's being asked and not something that's similar but different. This symbol here represents the stop, think, go, which is, it can be similar to the pause button, but I mean it in a different sense here. In a conversation where people with brain injury often have troubles with word finding, a simple stop, think, go strategy can initially feel a little uncomfortable because people have a hard time tolerating pauses in conversation, but a simple pause can help your poor turtle brain keep up with the conversation and gives your retrieval robot just a little bit of extra time to find the information he's looking for. And finally, we've got these dolphins, whales, and fish in this box here, and that's to represent that categorization and association are really great strategies for helping your retrieval robot know where to go to find the information he needs. By putting the books in an organized way in our library, it makes our robot know where to find it much faster, and it prevents him from having to dig in the pile of books to find the information we're looking for. This is another example of a strategy menu. This one is specifically regarding challenges with communicating when you're emotionally escalated. I like these visual cues because a picture is worth 1,000 words. When a client is emotionally escalated, it's difficult to process lexical information. So seeing a quick picture that can represent a simple strategy can be a much more effective tool than a bunch of words on a sheet of paper. I have the lungs here as a reminder to breathe. We'll go through in a different video the importance of breathing and emotional regulation. Grounding yourself in your senses is a really good way to come out of emotional escalation and come in the here and now to remind your body that you are safe in this time and space. So paying attention to any particular smells that you can detect in your environment is a great way to help ground you and get you to think and communicate more clearly. Tipping the temperature, so putting your face in cold water can trigger the diver's response, which helps relax your body on the unconscious level. So that's a really neat trick in our pocket that we can use to hijack our nervous system to our advantage and calm us down. Briefly spoke about palming, where you rub your hands, cover your eyes, and the heat from your palms helps bring more blood flow to that area. The color black is really relaxing for your brain. So this exercise just kind of helps take down the overstimulation and helps you concentrate. I have the fork and knife here. Can you eat something or focus on familiar or pleasant tastes? Like if you're nurturing a tea or a coffee, focusing again on those sensations can help ground you in the here and now and get you out of that emotional brain. Stimulating your vocal folds is a direct way to your autonomic unconscious nervous system. The vagus nerve, or the wandering nerve through your body, is connected to your vocal folds. And when you hum or sing or even just vocalize, you stimulate your vagus nerve, which helps put your body in a relaxed state of being instead of in fight or flight. The pen is here to help remind people that when you're having intrusive thoughts, you can write them down and schedule a time to worry about them later, or you can write down rational responses to irrational fears. So for example, say I make a mistake at work and I could start getting into a tailspin of, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fired because I made this mistake. Or I could simply write down my irrational fear is I'm going to get fired because I made this small mistake. And a rational response to that would be, I'm not going to get fired. If anything, my boss will take me for a sit down chat and we'll have a problem solving discussion about how I can improve my performance next time. And The alarm clock is there to help remind you to take intentional scheduled breaks. By taking a 5-minute break every 30 minutes or so, you can help ground yourself in a more stable state and prevent you from being so susceptible to spiking into an emotional state of mind. So, this is an example strategy menu for how to help with emotional regulation with a goal of improving the clarity of our communication in stressful situations. And the final strategy menu I'll quickly share with you to help with encoding is to help clients overcome or compensate for their pain symptoms. We know that pain is really distracting, and if part of your attention is distracted by pain, you don't have as many resources to focus on what you're hearing and work with that information and communicate about it effectively. So I like to remind my clients this dancing man is meant to represent any physical exercises as prescribed by the rehabilitation team, like physiotherapy or occupational therapy. Take your medications as prescribed by your medical team. Use any heating or cooling treatments that have been medically prescribed for you. Calming can help with visual overstimulation and maybe help prevent or take down headache symptoms. Simply finding a space to sit down and rest as needed can be appropriate. There is an exercise called the modified progressive relaxation technique, which I can teach in another video in the future, but it's a way to help clients systematically go through and learn how to relax specific groups of muscles. And the idea is that comparing your muscles when they're tense and drawing a direct association with how it feels when that muscle group is relaxed can help clients identify when they're feeling excessively tense and help them consciously relax it in the moment. I have the headphones here for sound sensitivity, and I've got the calendar here to remind clients to book any appointments or follow up on any referrals to help manage their pain symptoms as needed. By regularly practicing my strategy menus with my clients, specifically during functional tasks, so helping them anticipate what is coming up for you this week and how can we apply these strategies to help you absorb information, find it, and communicate about it effectively when you need to. And by practicing these strategies, we're helping our neurons look for new connections. And we know that with repetition, we build the strength of those networks and they become faster. So the more we practice these strategies with the menus as our visual guide, the easier it becomes to use these strategies. And we then build unconscious habits, which in my other video, an overview of cognitive communication disorders, we know that building unconscious habits is the best way to help rewire your brain for success after a brain injury. Good luck. And if you have any comments about other things you've added to your strategy menus or ideas that have worked really well for you, I'd love to hear about it.